Hey everyone out there, how you doing? Woo. All right, so wait a minute, I almost googled something here. To get back in here real quick and go to brand down to the bottom. There, now we got our names up there. We got to click the button to give us our names. All righty, so uh, everyone, uh, before we get going, we haven't had Will here online here with us for a while. He's doing a lot better, so Will's going to be with us. That's JIT preparedness-info. And of course, down below me here is Uncle Al from Die Bullfrog 79. And of course, Dave at Southern Ohio Prepping. So let's do a little roll call here and get into this thing because this is going to be hot, heavy. And so, like I said in the message there, hang on to your hats and skirts, guys and gals. All right, so we have roll call here. Wide Family Farm, that's Courtney. Hardknack Farms. The artist formerly known as the Kraken. Comments. Oh, and then I have up in there the link to Dave's on the same topic from last year, back in April. And everybody's talking back and forth. Michael 58. Will chatted in there. Kaylin Strain's in the house. Raven Cat Homestead, Cecilia. Big Dreams Homestead. Maccabeus Off-Grid Everyday Survival. Mama Z's Texas Kitchen. Mama Z, what are you cooking tomorrow? Our Treasured Homestead, talking back and forth. Fishes and Loaves Live. Springfield Ridge Farm. Mary Beth Smith. Ungrateful Peasant. Another good channel to check out. Creative Redundancy. Hey, CR. Catching up here. Everybody's talking to each other good. And Southern Bless Homestead. And Homesteading in Idaho. Audra. Hey, how's it going? Christy Betts. Did I say Mary Beth Smith? If not,
I think so, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Go through. All right. Tomorrow morning, 9:30 Central Standard Time. Mama Z's Texas Kitchen is doing grilled chicken wings. And all right, those are all the ones that are commenting. We got a bunch of others that are lurking and just watching. That's fine. You can lurk all you want. You have something question whether be sure to feel free to put it in the chat. All right, so we're going to go on.
Capital would be nice so we can catch it.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that is really spurring me on forward with this is what's been happening around here. Last year, during this time, actually, we didn't start seeing any shortages till we were into February and into March. And here in Idaho, it was a lot later. April. Last Friday, I went to Cabela's in Idaho Falls. They have 4 aisles of ammunition. Not just, 2 on each side of these aisles. 3 of them were totally bare. Nothing there. The last aisle had about 20, maybe 30 boxes of 16-gauge shotgun shells, and that was it. On the way home, I stopped in Shelley at the little gun store and prepper supply place there. There was nothing on the walls, nothing in the cabinets. Out in the center where they pile the ammunition, nothing.
And you a place called Murdoch's.
Yeah.
About every other aisle is empty.
Yeah. I contacted Ryan at Prescott Caliber Club because he's had a lot of good luck in finding people ammunition, and he was looking for the last week for some 45-70 for my son. Can't find it.
I forget. Kathy's North Star, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy, North Star Prep Center's in the house, and we have Dustin, Courtney's husband's in the house.
And you can thank our friendly neighborhood U.S. military and people in the swamp for our lack of freedom seeds to go hunting with to put food on your table.
Yeah. There's been large purchases of even stuff, and basically they've stopped manufacturing non-military tile stuff to be able to pump out all the military contracts.
Our cabin in the woods, good evening.
Hey, our cabin. All right, so let's get into this. Let's shift this around here. And so we're going to talk about the fragile supply chain for both food and other needs that we need, other items that we need. All right, so let's move on to the first. Okay, so first thing we're talking about. So what do we, or you guys in the side chat out here, what do you know about the food supply chain or any supply chain? Have you had any experience with it? You have common knowledge?
I know a lot about it.
Yeah, I know Dave knows a lot about it. Dave's our boots on the ground guy. When I was working for retired. When I was working for, and I'm retired too, but when I was working for Homeland Security in the Coordination Center, part of what I did was ordering supplies for the agencies it and unders, Customs and Border Patrol, TSA, ICE, and the others and stuff for their offices of certain required things. One of the things we stocked up on 12 years ago was N95 masks.
Butch is here.
Hey, Butch, Sand Hollow Homestead. So, and about 10 years ago, they decided, hey, these masks are now 5 years old. We need to get rid of them and buy new ones. Oh, the logistics headache of trying to get new for the entire agencies, get it all changed out was a major nightmare. Fortunately, I was able to convince the GSA, the General Service,
Government General Service,
the General Service Agency, to donate all the masks to the CERT programs across the nation. Because actually the masks didn't go bad because they were kept in dark closets, wrapped in plastic in a cardboard box, big boxes, so they're well protected. Okay, let's see what they're saying here.
Our treasured home, it won't be long.
Yeah. Local lockers are booked 2-3 years. Butcher says a week. Okay, that was from Maccabeus. Okay, so let's move on here and probably hit the one that everybody knows about. It's Wally World. Now, when I first started looking at Wally World's distribution center setup, and we did this last April when we first started looking at it. And what I found out since then is amazing. I'm going to show you some stuff here. But in the meantime, everybody hydrate.
Don't want to.
Whether it's clear, brown, or tea. All right, so when I looked out, I Googled the locations for distribution centers, and they gave me one particular type first. And these are the it says some are Walmart, some of them are mixed Walmart, Sam's Club. So since they're both owned by the same company, but then I dug deeper. This is Walmart's fashion distribution. That means clothing. All right, so these are just clothing distribution centers. And then Walmart General Merchandise Distribution Center. Other stuff, it's not food, It's not clothing, it's the other stuff. Well, some of the other stuff, guys. There's a lot of stuff. The green ones are those that were added since 2014. I'm not sure how old this is. It may be a couple of years out of date still.
You see that question out there? They want to know why they're building so many storage facilities.
All right.
Get into that. That's an hour in and of itself, and a lot of it is considered conspiracy theory because contracts for such places don't actually exist. So how can you build a place with no contract?
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get into you'll see why there are so many warehouses when we get down here. All right. But this one here is all right. The green ones are the added perishable distribution centers. Perishables. That's your vegetables and stuff like that. That's, breads, So then the blue one, those are the green ones are the ones that are new from 2014. The blue ones are the ones older than 2014. The little purple ones, like in California here, and is that the only one?
Okay, got it.
That's dry grocery distribution. That'd be like cereals, pastas, that sort of stuff. And then the red ones are Walmart full line grocery / perishable distribution centers. Anything you eat comes out of those. All right. Let's go on to the next one here. All right, this gets a little different here. You have the red squares, like in Los Angeles, Chicago, Virginia Beach, Savannah, and Houston. These are import distribution centers. Hey, stuff that comes from the land of the Red Dragon and other countries as well. The purple ones are the Walmart e-commerce distribution centers. The green ones are...
When you go to Walmart.com and it says not supplied by Walmart, what it is the e-commerce centers. That is where people ship their stuff into Walmart to have Walmart sell it on their website, but is not actually sold inside the store itself.
Right. And the green ones are the new ones added since 2014. The dark gray circle is Walmart export distribution centers. The check marks, like in Central California, over here in Northern Arkansas, Southern Georgia, Northern Virginia, these are the Walmart pharmacy distribution centers where all the drugs and stuff go to, and vitamins and stuff. The triangle is Walmart optical labs. The little yellow lollipop is Walmart print and mail distribution center, which is at their big facility there in North Arkansas. And then the do not enter sign, the red circle, the white line in, are their tire distribution centers, like in Dallas, Atlanta. All right. And see the next one here. All right, now we're going to see what what these distribution centers look like. This is one of the ones in Arkansas. What was that?
Bentonville, Arkansas.
Yeah. So you look at this, you go, well, that's not too big. Well, I'm going to zoom in on this bottom left-hand corner of this building. And all those little lines you saw sticking out from the building, those are 53-foot cargo trucks. Just the trailers. These others, all the tractors are sitting around here. The trucks that pull them are just sitting around. So I'm going to go back again. So all these little lines all over the place are 50-foot long trailers. And this here is these are double rows out over here on the right-hand side. Those are double rows of them.
And in that complex, that's only one part of the Bentonville, Arkansas distribution network. There are several buildings like that now. When I first went there many years ago, there was only one main complex. Now there's several.
All right, so that's the zoom in again. Let's move on. There's another one. I didn't pull up exactly where all these were. I'm going to show these real quick to you. This is another distribution center. Another one. Another one. And now we're going inside. This is a brand new one. No supplies are in there yet. Look how far that goes down. We are already at right here. This number 3. This is B3A3 for B. So you can imagine alphabetically it goes on a bunch.
Probably a half mile down there.
Yeah, and here's another one, another small section of one getting ready to be stocked, getting stuff in or getting ready stuff. I notice all the shelves are empty, so they're probably just getting ready to stock this one, getting stuff coming in. Here's one that's stocked. Look at that. All the stuff that's on the ground here, on the left-hand side here.
They're shipped out.
Yeah, that's getting ready to be shipped out. Those are all the bays right along here. All these black markers here. Those are the bays where they're going to be put them into the trucks.
Actually, no. That's the receiving side.
That's the receiving side?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been to too many warehouses. The reason I can tell it's receiving side is because of the way it's stacked out.
Okay.
They bring it in and they stack it into a certain section of the floor. You notice where it's stacked, the trailer door is a little off to the one side of it.
Yeah.
They bring it out, they stack it on the floor, then it is inspected, then counted, then inspected again before the driver's allowed to hook up with his trailer and take off with the paperwork.
Yeah. And this orange tower here on the right, if you look closely, there's right here, you can see my little green arrow moving around. That goes round and round and down, and you got little conveyor belts and chutes that feed into this to feed down to other sections. So yeah, that's how they move. How some of the packages get moved along. But
Kathy says you think we're consumers.
We certainly we won't, because there won't be nothing to consume. Oh,
yes.
Oops, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Now,
no fear here.
And this is a product pulling center because you have all these lines here. They're pulling stuff. This is one of those where they, Walmart.com type thing. You order it, they pull it.
There's many of those. And in some of the bigger distribution centers, you'll find that on the shipping side.
Yeah.
This is the shipping side. This is the side that actually goes to the store itself.
Right.
So let's say your local Walmart sells X number of cans of this, that, and another thing. If 100 of this, every time they sell something, it's entered into a computer program. And every day that computer program uploads to a Walmart distribution center that they're connected to, as well as the corporate headquarters, for 2 reasons. First reason, the distribution center is so that the distribution center can start laying out a pallet of everything that they've sold to make sure that store stays fully stocked of said item. It also goes to the main office, so that office can take the global or US product list and contact its supplier saying, look, we sold 22 containers of this product this week. We need to order 23 containers for the next series. That's how they keep the just-in-time delivery system flowing.
Yeah. All right. So another picture here.
Man, home state in Idaho, what you're saying, you're saying they built an Amazon warehouse in Nampa.
Yeah,
and they're going to build another one in Boise. It's only because if you listen to the Twitter feed and stuff, their plans are to have them all over the place so they can deliver their products in hours instead of days.
Well, they've already got the government contract to do it via drones. And so once they get enough warehouses, there'll be less people working and it'll all be done via drones.
Yeah. And people, I'm not even going to go to that part. All right. So here off on the side, you see this stuff, all this stuff stacked up by all these doors here where the trucks back up to.
That's the shipping side.
This is where it's going out because you got all these rollers coming down. It's fun stuff. It's a headache. I don't want to work there.
I only delivered to those places.
That's where people hurt themselves. So they can't work.
All right. Now across here on the bottom here, this is Bay 090, 091, 092, 093, 094, 095. So those are the shipments they're expecting in or going out. Dave, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Going out?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Not for a while, Dustin. Robot trucks have a one problem. They run over people.
Or people just cut them off, don't
Yeah.
realizing that it's artificial intelligence. It doesn't care.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
already working on it. I was watching a special on them.
Yeah, I know. I
Special
see that
road.
one.
They're gonna put special roads up just for them.
Yeah. Now, if you look at how blurry this photo is, that's because this belt is moving. These packages are flying down there. Not everything is blurry on it. See, some of the things here, focus, you can read what's on them, and other things are just. So, yeah. It's not, those things don't move slow. All right. We're going to talk about a couple other businesses here and their distribution centers, centers and logistic makeups. All right, so this is Costco's. This is the only map I could find for Costco for showing where its distribution centers are. And I know there's a couple others up here in the Bay Area. There's the big business distribution center up here as well, besides the one down in Los Angeles. So this map is incomplete, but that's what you get when you Google something.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Bob. All right. This is Amazon's fulfillment centers. This is a couple years out of date because they don't even have the one up in Nampa up here. So, but you look at how densely packed it is down here in Southern California, in Texas, Central Pennsylvania. And then we go from their fulfillment centers to their air processing centers. And so, and even here for Amazon here, it's not listing all of them. Because I know for a fact that there are more than just San Francisco and Sacramento in the San Francisco Bay Area and Stockton, besides Stockton, that ship stuff out. I know they go out for sure. They go out of Oakland and they also go out of San Jose as well.
Right. The Stockton one, why they do that because they have less interference from the Bay Area if they ship it out direct to Stockton.
Yeah. But I'm saying Oakland's not on there and San Jose's not on there. And I know they ship from both those because we used to go over and inspect their facilities on surprise with customs and some other agencies. All right.
I get to ruin it.
United Parcel Service, Brown. So if you ship a package from Brown, and they pick it up at your house, it goes to the main center for that truck, and then it gets shipped off to either a hub or a ground network hub or to an airport hub. And at the airports, they have buildings. The one in Oakland, they just doubled the size of it in Oakland 3 years ago. And so it goes, it'll go to air, it'll go up to a central air hub, and then then flown out to a receiving center near where it's going to be going to, and then shipped off to you. And the ground ones they truck it from one state to another. Interesting, in California, they can only have 2 trailers. In Nevada, Idaho, and other states, they have 3 trailers. So what happens? They ship three semis pulling 2 trailers for a total of 6. They get into across the state line. They break the one apart. The truck heads back with empty other trailers and stuff. They do a lot. They have little areas where they swap trailers around. That can be a headache in and of itself that they swap the wrong trailer.
Yep.
And then let's see. All right, this is also UPS. Shipping from Southern California in the yellow it takes 1 day. In the orange right around it here in Arizona, Utah, Nevada, Northern California is 2 days. The green is 3 days. The dark reddish stuff here is 4 days. Then the bright orange is 5 days. Puerto Rico is 6 days. Alaska is 3 days. Now, what happens if they're shipping, say, from over here in Virginia, over here on the coast? Well, flip it around. You notice this area here is 1 day, goes back. And so certain parts of Oregon and Idaho up there where it's hard to get to are 6 days. Hawaii is 6 days. Because what they do is they ship it over to the coast, and then they fly it over to Hawaii.
Yes, our treasured home. It's all one conglomerate.
Yeah. UPS ground and UPS air, same company. It's just how you pay to ship it. Now we're going to get to the part that scares everybody.
Oh, I think we went over this once before.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can get all this information out. Oh, okay.
Okay, come on.
So for your food value chain type stuff,
Out.
input is where stuff comes from that the farmer's going to use. This is going to the producers, the farmers, those that produce the food. Seeds, pesticides, ag biotech, traits, fertilizers. All the stuff the farmer buys has to be shipped to the farmer by truck. The farmers produce it. Sometimes the farmers, ranchers, they'll have multiple lands.
Hello, David.
And they move
Hey,
stuff
David.
around. David Lynn, hey, how's it going, sir? And so that besides the farmers themselves are using trucks to move stuff around from pastures. The farmers themselves, like if they say there are ranchers raising beef,
Hey, Tammy.
they will either buy or they will be raising their own. Hey, Tammy, AZ Bear, Arizona Bear. They will have to transport feed to where they're raising the cattle, because not all the cattle are out there grazing. You don't raise a calf, have it born in the spring and harvest it in the fall. It's 1.5 years old by the time they harvest it. So they got to feed it through the wintertime. So they have to have alfalfa, hay, and all the other grains and stuff through the wintertime. And then it goes on to processing, whether it's sugar beets, alfalfa, wheat, rye, meat, eggs, meat birds, whatever, it goes to processing. And it's trucked from the farm to the processor, and then sometimes from the processor to a warehouse, and then to the distribution centers where it either goes to exports, distribution. Those type distributors, distribution centers also receive imports, and then it goes to places like the Walmart Wally World Distribution Center.
But
People
here,
out to retail.
if AOC and the rest of her little clan have their way, you won't have to worry about it. With the Green New Deal, there'll be no trucks on the highway.
Or processors.
Exactly. So we'll get into that part later.
Yeah. And then it goes to the retailers and it's shipped to your local grocery store. And then you got to drive down there. You're part of the food chain. You got to drive to the store, pick it up, and bring it home. And let me lay it out a little bit differently there. Farm, processor, packaging, shipping, distribution, transportation, warehousing, marketing, your home.
I need to address something real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Ops, I don't know how familiar you are with the trucking industry or the so-called electric vehicles for trucking. England has been trying this since 1989 to perfect it. They still haven't, even with current modern technology. Semis cannot traverse hills electrically controlled automatically. They cannot do it because they wind up not being able to maintain their speed. So you're not going to send an electric powered vehicle over the mountains, either out west, out east. It's not going to happen. They run away.
Yeah. The interesting thing as far as power of vehicles, down in Bolivia, they had steam trains. They were going to modernize. They bought diesel electrics. They thought, oh, we'll replace each steam train with a diesel electric, each engine. They put an engine on one of the trains, tried to send over the mountain, it wouldn't do it. They had to put 2 diesel electrics to pull what the one old-fashioned steam train would pull over the mountains down there. The trucks that are pulling across the Donner Pass and stuff in California on 80, you can tell the trucks that have engines in them. You can tell the ones that have the big Caterpillars and Detroits and stuff in them. And then you can tell the ones that they've souped up with the turbochargers and everything else on them, which all costs more. You get more horsepower out of it.
By the sound of them.
Yeah, but also by how fast they're going. You see a truck doing 45 up the hill, hits like and you see another one that's fully loaded with steel and stuff just blowing. You know he's got the big cat engine with a turbo on it and everything else.
Well, all diesel trucks have turbos. It just depends on whether they've put a stinger in the fuel rail system or not. Yeah. And a stinger is a way to bypass the electronically controlled fuel system to put more fuel into the engine. Yeah. Bad thing is, putting a stinger on a block, any diesel block, is a good way to pull a sleeve out of place and totally dynamite an engine.
Yeah. Hey, Liberty Garden.
Oh, and he mentioned they're testing hydrogen-powered trucks.
Yeah,
like the what? Go ahead, Dave.
That's not feasible. It's cool in theory. I used to work for a company called Hydrogen Sulfide Solutions, and it was a way to add hydrogen into the fuel mixture to make the trucks run more efficiently. It looks great on paper, but in practicality, it is not efficient. Right,
because I forget, is it BMW or the other guys who made the big trucks for Europe? Mercedes. Didn't one of their trucks blew up like an atomic bomb?
Yep.
Yeah.
There was problems with it. But running, this is another look at the food supply in simple views. This is a simple view. Here we're getting a little more in depth on it. So you got all your inputs to the farmers. You have farming. Then you have your aggregation, which is your from the farmer, it goes to farmer organizations, all traders, transporters, etc. And between however it moves, it's being moved by truck or rail or both, goes to processing plants, which are milling, packaging, dyeing, drying, whatever they're doing to it. Goes to trading, where it's from one warehouse to another, being bought by one group, sent off. Now, besides that, back in the processing here, there can be multiple stages in here from multiple places. Okay, we're DiGiorno pizza, so we need to buy pizza sauce from a sauce maker. So that sauce maker has to buy tomatoes from one place, seasonings from another. You see how it all comes together just to make the sauce. And then they also have to buy the flour and to make the dough and stuff from a different place. So by the time it gets to the DiGiorno processing, they're pulling from 4 or 5 different places easily. And then it goes through all the different things down to the retailing, to the markets, supermarkets, restaurants, and on to the consumer. And this is from a university's program teaching about the supply chain. This is
now, folks, when you look at this list, you can see all kinds of stuff pointing right to the center. This is basically a computer program's input. Okay, this takes in everything. What you don't see are all the little teeny cogs in this mechanism that are required for it to work. You have to, all right, I'll start it real easy. Joe Schmoed farmer down the road, he's raising milk cows. So he has to send in via computer program to his grain place. Okay, he says, hey, I couldn't grow enough grain this year. I'm going to need 10, full 40-foot grain trailers. In some states you can get 2 at once, fully loaded of, this type of grain to feed my cattle. So they schedule that. So then he goes back to his computer, and then, he sends the message to his dairy receiver. I've got, a tanker's worth of milk every other day this week because, we're low on feed and that's not here yet. So now that he's got that done, then he's got to worry about getting the hay. So he's got to contact another one. So one person is actually contacting 6 or 7 different places in order to get the stuff that they need to produce the milk that's sitting on your shelf. That's just one example. And you can take that example, be it cattle for food, pigs, chickens, turkeys. It doesn't matter what you're looking for. The same goes with clothing. You know, manufacturers got to source different types of cloth, thread, buttons, snaps through different areas. So the food supply system eco chain, whatever you want to call it, right there in the middle, applies to everything that you get. Everything that is transported via truck has 10, 15, 20 different distributors distributing to that center point before it actually leaves there and hits the truck going to your Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and don't forget, not everything is here from the U.S. I picked up at Costco a couple packages of processed meat that was in a sauce and everything that came from South America, from Argentina. From there, all their cows down there. Costco was buying it from there. It's cheap. It's got a 5-year best used by date on it. So I picked up a couple of them. But you figured, all right, they got to ship that all the way from down there too. So now you have international aspects to ordering. Clothing. Take a look where your clothing and the tag where it's manufactured from. There's a lot of stuff that's manufactured in Pakistan and India. And then there's some stuff, yeah. And then there's some stuff I found that was the cloth was manufactured over in Indonesia, sent to Mexico, where it was cut and sewn together, and then shipped to the United States.
Did you read what Fishes wrote to you?
Fishes. You ate those big rats.
Thanks.
No, they're still in the shelf. They're part of the 5-year food supply. So, there are certain things that is coming from overseas. What's funny is we are shipping some pork out of the country and importing pork from another country in here. So the food supply.
You got people in the swamp with fat pockets.
Oh yeah.
And so the way things are it's moving around, and you get people in there with power they're not supposed to have.
Absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Yeah, throwing it around, doing stuff, and now
I'm buying pork from Dave so he can sell it to the people in Pakistan. So Al can buy it from the people in Pakistan at a reduced rate.
Yeah, and so what should be an easier system to manage is now getting more convoluted with all this international trading of instead of us shipping product out, we should just be keeping it here and using it here rather than shipping it out and importing it from a different country, the exact same thing.
Liberty Garden says about rules originated in NAFTA.
Yes. The rules of origin. Yeah, it's in the fine print. The problem with keeping everything here is, and this is something that most people don't know when they talk about this, and I'm not blaming anybody because it's not something that's widely known, but a majority of what's shipped overseas doesn't meet the FDA guidelines. So our guidelines are so strict that over half of what we produce in this country don't meet it. So they have to ship it overseas in order for the farmers and producers to actually get any money. Otherwise, they would go broke. So what doesn't meet our FDA requirements get shipped overseas, and then they ship us the best that they got. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, if we kept everything in our country that we produced, we'd still wind up throwing half of it away because the FDA, which is fat pockets too, says, oh, I'm sorry, that doesn't meet our guidelines because it's not GMO enhanced.
Yeah.
Another one. Oops, sorry.
Yeah. All righty. So let's go to the next slide here.
That's why it makes it easier for us just to grow our own damn food.
Night, Mary Beth.
Hey, Mary Beth, have a good one. All right. Moving away from food, we'll move to another sore spot. America's fuel and petrochemical supply chain. Excuse me, I'm getting a headache on this one.
I had a hazmat license for many years. Yeah. That's why I quit hauling it.
Yeah. 30 some odd years ago, I moved into construction from law enforcement into construction because, hey, my brother got me a job making twice as much as I was making as a deputy sheriff. So, and when I was there, I got my hazmat license to drive a fuel truck for a construction company. Yeah. So I learned a lot about it. And we actually worked, the company we worked for actually worked on installing underground pipelines for water, sewer, gas, storm, fuel oil, and stuff like that. But yeah, and just if you can, I know for you, a lot of this could be hard to read this on the screen, but you got North America's oil and gas production here on the far left. And then you got overseas markets where it's coming from and going to. You got crude oil coming in, refined products going out. Yeah. It's this whole, if you try following the lines around, it goes back and forth, this way, that way, up and around. It's like trying to play the game Mousetrap. You build stuff and it just goes all over the stupid place. So, and then over here you have on that side again, overseas markets over here as well. So it is a real convoluted way that they ship stuff around. And yeah, anyways.
One of the biggest refineries near me right now is in Detroit, Michigan. It is also a first strike target because of the complexity and size of it. And a lot of the stuff that comes into Detroit comes in via the canals and Lake Erie and all that. So just understand this. The further you are away from a point like that, the better for reasons. Also realize that you're going to pay more for it.
Yeah. And then you have California, which throws all stupid, ridiculous mega problems on top of it. You have a formula you have to produce for the summer, a formula for the winter. Unless you're at a certain altitude, then you have another formula altogether for all seasons. And
that's actually nationwide now.
I worked in the oil fields when I was in my 20s, roughnecking, drilling for the oil in the ground. And where I drilled at was almost smack dab in the middle of the United States. And we worked a 3-state radius. And we drilled for oil all the way from 100 feet all the way down to 8,000 feet. But one in 4 wells were left in production. The other ones were capped off. And when we got nosy, we said, why are you capping those off? They're saying because the oil will be worth more in 20 years. So we're going to save that oil for later.
Yeah. So now you see all the production facilities and stuff. What would screw up this supply chain? Now, first thing that pops to my mind is, and it's happened several times in the San Francisco area where they got 6 different refineries. A power outage.
Allie's here.
Allie Carroll, hey, how's it going? And so when you have a production facility that has a power outage and they fall a day behind because all sorts of stuff they got to go through, and even though they have generators and stuff to pick up the power, but if there's a fluctuation, sometimes what they were producing becomes what's what I'm looking for. The composite mixture of cracking is not quite right, and now they're no longer producing high grade, premium fuel. Now they're producing regular, and so they put it off there. Say, oh, they're going to use it, yeah, but now they have 20 extra tanks full of regular, and they don't have enough premium to ship. And so now they fall behind a little bit on that. Now they got to change their production schedule around. And then if you have problems with their pumps and stuff, pumping it out into the trucks and stuff, or the pumping facility burns up a pump and they got to replace that pump, the pump motor or the pump itself, you can have problems there. And then
a lot of those fuel tanks, they can push the fuel off, like into different lines and stuff. But when it turns around that they have to take that fuel and push it back into a truck, they won't have the ability to do that because they need power to do that.
Right. What's interesting is in Contra Costa County, in San Francisco Bay Area, there across the bay behind Oakland, over on the good side of the hill, they had Costco, Shell, Avon, and I forget the other refinery there. They all produced jet fuel, and they sold it to Kinder Morgan, and they would put it in their pipeline and high pressure. I mean, you're talking extremely high pressure line, and pump it to Oakland Airport, San Francisco Airport, and San Jose Airport to their fuel farms.
Courtney, you and Dustin have to come down here. I am not taking it to the northern part of Ohio. No way. Ain't going up there.
But with all the construction going on in the Bay Area, there were numerous times where those lines were hit because they were mismarked when Kinder Morgan put them in. They didn't put them in as they were supposed to. And I know for one fact in Martinez, in Walnut Creek, the pipeline, instead of going straight, took a jog out around where a tree was, a big oak tree, and then later on they took that oak tree down, and they put on their plans that it went straight and not jogged. And when a water pipeline went through there going next to it, they thought they would have a straight shot. All the plans said it was a straight shot. They dug out that 8-inch high pressure line, and the fireball that came off that thing killed 15 people, burnt up 2 excavators, and it took weeks to clean up that mess.
And remember, folks, on the West Coast, from Oregon all the way down to San Diego, guess where all the fuel goes? To the United States Navy and Air Force. Okay, we don't get fuel in the military. There's no ships going out to the Pacific, Hawaii, or Alaska. That's resupply, protection. And a lot of people like, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
That's why they have that huge tanker thing up there by Bremerton.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to address something real quick.
Okay.
At this point, there's been no, and I know it's just in jest out there, but for anybody who's listening out after the live goes to video, there's no fear porn in this.
Nope.
If you're scared, then you need to rethink your preps. Plain and simple. There's nothing much else to say. If you're scared, something in here scares you, then you need to replan and rethink what you're doing to keep yourself prepared, to keep yourself at a level that you can continue to function in the way you're functioning right now.
Okay. I want to hold a thought here.
You're right, Keith. Yeah. They're still putting oil rigs in the dirt here where I live right now.
All right, everybody, let's hold it for a second. Kathy, that was your brother?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so Kathy at North Star Prep Center, her brother passed away yesterday. All right, so everyone keep Kathy in your prayers, all right?
Oh, Kathy, I'm just putting that out there for anybody who may watch.
Condolences, Kathy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying. I don't want anyone to become afraid from this. I want to become informed and be able to become knowledgeable and be able to make a decision that will help them knowing what's going on. Because right now, already, I know several channels. I know the Bouchards have mentioned it. Bouchard Homestead. I'm trying to remember who all was talking about what their Walmarts back east were already doing. I started noticing stuff out here, like I said, with at Cabela's and some of the gun stores out here. I've noticed some of the at Walmart, even at Sam's Club. When I went last time I was in Sam's Club looking for toilet paper. Guess what? they're out early this time.
I spoke about this a couple weeks back. Told y'all it was going to happen.
Yeah, we have plenty here, but we've used a couple cases of this year, so I wanted to replace those. We have plenty here, but I just wanted to get more. I can go to Costco and I can pick them up there. Costco's loaded with it here.
Yeah.
So
hold on, girls. I know you aren't scared. Like I said, I'm saying that to somebody who may watch this who isn't quite prepared, who may think that what we're saying is a bunch of malarkey because they're so used to the government giving it to them and just handing it hand over fist to them, and they have no worries. They have never spent a day in their life considering any of this.
Yeah.
Most everybody that's in our chat right now, I am pretty positive, already understands the basics of this and understands the need to be prepared. You're not a prepper. You are being prepared. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Preppers are what you see on Discovery Channel. We are people who want to make sure that we have what we need if the need arises to have it. That is being prepared.
Amen, Dave. Amen, brother.
So, girls, I didn't mean to create any hard feelings. If I did, I apologize and I ask your forgiveness.
Yeah. So here's a simplified version of the gasoline supply chain. Of course, then there's also trains with ethanol delivering it. And what is actually supposed to be a mixing facility in here in the middle here, mixing ethanol with gasoline. But yeah. So, what else affects the supply chain? Guys, in the side chat, use your thinking hats right now. What else can you think of that affects the supply chain?
Trains. Oh, I'm not supposed to say.
Now, that's not what I'm talking about. Well, what else would affect trains and stuff? Give them a minute here. But yeah, so well, all right, there they already have it. Weather and weather. All right, let's go on. Hey, back on video number 355. What do you need for winter storm preparedness? We talked exactly about how a little bit of the supply chain being affected by winter storms. Hey, this is Interstate 80 coming from Nevada into California. Donner Pass is closed, so you got trucks stopped heading west. Oh, why did the trucks east stop? Because at Elko, it shut down.
Truck's jackknifed. He stopped dead.
Yeah, so and they've noticed too that I didn't notice right away. If you can see the one in the middle here, this truck in the middle, it says road text on it. Well, the one right behind it is a cattle truck. The one behind that 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 is a cattle truck where this white spot is. And even back farther, I believe that, I'm not sure if that was a cattle truck or not too, but that's full of beef.
Live beef.
Or sheep or pigs live going to market, freezing out there in the snow.
We won't discuss hardneck. We won't discuss harp here. Not
yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, this
we're entire different ball of beans.
And so this is what just talking what happens here. So winter storms is one thing that can affect the supply chain. If you've ever been in California and you see how the trains go through the up over Donner Pass and stuff, and the snow sheds and stuff, and the big engines they put on the front of them with the snow blowers that could eat up a semi truck and spit it out, you understand how sometimes even those things get stuck. And when you see the snow drifts up there. So, but wait, there's more. I'm sorry, I had to throw that commercial drag line in there. Well, other things that could affect it. Well, if fuel prices get so bad, or there's a shortage of fuel where the trucks can't drive, that's going to affect it.
Oh, Mama Z has a question.
Mama Z, question.
Is it shut down right now? Which one?
She was talking about Tammy's. And yes, Fishes, executive orders, which are not law, but are to be enforced as law, can affect the supply chain drastically.
Yeah. All right. So, what else can affect the supply chain? Illness. Uncle Al experienced that in the food processing plants around in California, where they shut the entire plant down because everybody got sick.
Yeah.
And it can happen anywhere in the food chain. It could be, in the growers, in the processors, in the warehouses. If someone gets a bad flu or whatever, or a cold, whatever it is, and it spreads around to several people, and all of a sudden now the health department's shutting them down because, hey, health department jumps all over food processing plants.
Courtney,
food chain.
You bring up a semi-valid point, but the thing is, they weren't being shipped to the U.S. and people were buying them, so they ran out of it. The thing is, a lot of things were actually stopped being shipped for, 3 or 4 weeks in February and March of last year. All shipping into this country was halted. All the container ships were held offshore. They weren't allowed to be brought onto shore for the stuff to be distributed to the warehouses and stuff. There was an actual complete hold on anything coming into this country because of the way things were going.
Yeah. And the port of Oakland, half of it was shut down, where even if the ship came in, they couldn't unload it. They didn't have the people to do it.
Yep.
All right. Strikes. Strikes is something else that could affect the food chain. Anywhere along the line, from the grocery stores to the producers to the processors to the shippers, wherever. Corporate hoarding. Now, the only evidence that I know of this that was documented was certain lumber companies stopped shipping the wood. They had acres of processed wood sitting, not being shipped last year. And what happened? The prices went sky high, and then they started trickling it out. And they blamed it on the red dragon. So, all right, guys, what else? Guys in the side chat and on the panel here, what else do you think of that would affect the
Here's one that a lot of people are thinking: Civil War.
Yeah.
No, you might as well touch on it. I mean, nobody here is advocating for it. Don't.
Yeah. Right.
That's not what we're advocating. What we're saying is what could possibly affect our current supply chain, and if things don't improve, if certain things keep occurring the way that they are, history will repeat itself if people in power don't change their thinking, their actions, and attitudes, the way they're doing things. So,
all right.
Well, Kathy, we're just talking here in the States.
Yeah.
To a degree, if there was a world war, a lot of plants would ship, just like it did in World War II, to military supply. Everything would change over to production for military stuff, be it tanks, turrets, whatever.
I think what she also means, though, is not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a world war. It could be Pakistan and India go at it. All that clothing coming from Pakistan and India is going to stop being shipped.
Right. And also, folks, what Dave and Gil also mentioned, that I'm hidden behind CR's thing.
Sorry, yeah. So I wanted to, CR made a good point there. So I'm going to pull CR's comment down.
All right. On closed borders, it could be also a blockade. We tried that with China with Trump, but JB has executive ordered that away, so God knows what's going to go on next. So all the blockades are going to disappear.
I almost forgot I had to post it up here. Something I found out today. You're
right, Drops.
One of the shippers was commenting on one of the social media things that some of the supply stuff got scuttled by panic buying. What happened was one of their big customers panic bought a bunch of stuff, which above and beyond what they were normally projected to buy. And so the producers were saying, all right, this guy's going to buy 20 units of this, This one's going to buy 10 units. This one's going to buy 7. This one's going to buy 11. All of a sudden, this one went from 15 to 45 units. And it was their biggest contract. So guess what happened to everybody else?
They got nada.
They got nada. And now all the stuff that they were supposed to produce, gone. They can't produce it yet until the original producer is able to produce whatever they needed for their stuff. So panic buying by corporations can also cause shortages elsewhere in the supply chain and other supply chains, and it can be a domino effect around. This one affects that one. This one affects that one. What I would say here? Okay, they're talking about that. Oh, riots. Yeah.
Thanks, Keith. I will do that. I'm going to send you something.
Okay. Our Treasurer Homestead said riots can affect it.
Yep.
Albany, not sure how many auto plants shut down during the last year.
There's a few in Detroit and Toledo that shut down that I know of for sure.
Yeah.
I used to deliver to them, so.
Okay, I'm just sorry. Oh, okay. CR came up with a bunch of others. Earthquakes, landslides, closed roads, avalanche, mudslides. Yeah. Hey, Mount St. Helens, when it blew, the air was so bad, certain vehicles could not run because of the ash that was in the air.
Like,
and it closed a lot of it. Yeah, and what was it when Iceland, when the volcano blew in Iceland, part of Europe shut down for air travel.
Right, that was Reykjavik, and that plumed over northern Europe. Gil, I gotta go. My mother's screaming at me something's wrong with our power bank. So I have to go, guys. Catch you later.
All right, see you later, Al.
Yeah.
All right. And so, all right, good planning drops. So whatever, guys, what else do you think that could affect the food, any food, not just the food chain, the fuel chain, just moving products and stuff all around.
The key thing to all of that is the fuel. If there's no fuel, nothing moves.
Yeah.
Which is why when there's been major hurricanes down south that have hit the offshore oil platforms and supposedly destroyed pipelines or whatever down south, and I'm not saying it didn't happen. I know some of it did. But the prices were jacked up sky high to where the smaller trucking companies couldn't move their trucks. I used to work for one of them tiny companies, and during Katrina, we actually stayed at home for 2 weeks because we couldn't afford the dang fuel for the trucks. So, that's just a tiny company. I mean, our company only had 15 trucks. But what happens if that gets a little more large scale? What happens if, for whatever reason, we lose a lot of stuff down south and we don't have the ability to produce any oil or any fuel? Well, then you don't have your heating for your home because no truck's getting it there. You don't have any food for your home. You don't have any clothes. You have absolutely nothing without them trucks moving. So if there's no fuel, everything, and I mean everything, is affected.
Yeah. Is every one of these supply chains we were talking about, if it's moving from the producer to the processor to the warehouse, it's moving either by rail, which runs on fuel, or it's moved by truck.
Okay, so.
Yeah, employees going on strike. Yep, we got that.
Yeah, I see, like I need to be.
All righty. All right, so let's move on to next. We're getting close here. Now, remember a couple weeks ago we talked about balancing your preps and your budget. If there's a shortage in supply chain, the price of those preps are going to go up, which means it's going to impact your budget, which means your budget plans
they don't even
just
care
gone.
about is like all they
So,
care about is.
All right, so we got I had a little feedback in there somewhere. So yeah, so you got
I got it.
Yeah,
It was
some
me.
some of the supply chains can really affect what you are able to purchase. So let's drop us down here. And so one of the things that, like Dave mentioned earlier, and I'm going to mention it again now, and Wolf mentioned it as well. Grow your own food if you can. There's certain things here you can't grow clothing. Most of us can't grow the cotton to make clothing. We're not in the right area to do it.
So learn to sew.
Yeah, so learn to sew. You can
still buy a spinning wheel and learn how to spin your own clothes.
Yeah, and how to spin flax or whatever. But if you grow your own food, that gives you more money to spend on other things. So if the price of food and clothing is going up, yet you're able to grow your own food, that means you now have the money to spend on clothing or medications or fuel to get to work.
Yeah, there we go. Somebody's saying, grow your own cotton.
Yeah, not up here in Idaho or in Ohio. Now we grow plenty of alfalfa, beef, pigs, sugar beets, potatoes. Those things we can grow a lot of. I don't know. No, I've never heard of being able to make any type of fiber product from potatoes.
You can grow cotton like down in Tennessee and Alabama, those kind of states in that part.
I don't live there. Neither do you.
Yeah, we don't live there.
Well, maybe somebody out there in the chat does.
All right, but the whole thing to this, and this is going back to something I mentioned back when we were over at Prepper X's, and it was a discussion back then. So this is back when I still had Wolf's Den No BS reviews. The whole thing to this is, if you're going to start thinking about this kind of stuff, you got to put your mind in the mindset that it is grid down. Okay, you can't keep counting on somebody from 5 or 6 states away. You can't. If you want to be prepared, you have to consider what's in your area right where you're at. Okay, if you can't grow an item where you're at, then you cannot count on that item for your preps.
Yep.
If you're going to prepare, you need to think grid down in order to be prepared. If you're counting during your preps to have something that's produced hundreds, if not thousands of miles away, then you're setting yourself up to fail. Okay. Nothing in my house.
Everything that's viable in your area.
Nothing in my house requires anything from anywhere else other than where I live at this point in time. Now, if I have to move, that may change. And that means I may actually get to grow things. But anywho, if you want to succeed, plan like you have to get what you have to have where you're at. You cannot rely on products from another area.
Yeah. All right. CR puts it out there. Self-reliance. Yeah. So we need to, and I mentioned this early last year, before the summertime, about if you have planting a garden, enlarge it. If you have the space to plant one and you haven't put in a garden, do it. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen now that somebody is changing all the plans around with all his executive orders, but there were plans being put together last fall, late summer, that was supposed to be coming out here in the next month or so, a public information campaign to get people to plant gardens from certain branches of our federal system.
Kaput.
Don't know if those are all being kaput or not. Probably are, because certain people don't want self-reliant people. They want serfs.
Well, the people that were in charge back then are no longer in charge.
Yeah.
Therefore, the plans that were made back then have been scallywagged by mice. I mean,
yeah. You know. So, guys, gals, if it was a good idea to get ready to plant a garden and grow more food on your own, Liberty Gardens, what do you want to call them? Hey, Liberty Gardens in here. Hey, no pun intended. But I think it's still a good idea to go ahead and expand your garden if you can. One of the things I was thinking, yeah, well,
if he doesn't have the room to expand, what he could do is plant different plants and learn how to grow those, so that way he's got a variety.
Yeah, and we've talked on several of my live streams about doing vertical type gardens, wall gardens and stuff, where you have, instead of everything planted low, you plant it up the wall, so you're using less footage on the ground, but you're getting more crops growing. One of the things that I ran across, and I forgot to pull it up here, was the sprout garden things you can have on your table and stuff. Comes with a little light, and you can constantly grow sprouts, greeneries, and stuff to help subsidize your diet.
Yeah.
There's plenty of those around.
Doesn't take anything to grow that kind of stuff either.
Yeah. So I'm going to check one other thing over here on my other side here.
You don't even have to be a scientist.
Okay. Oh, Dave, we forgot something very important. On the food chain, guys. You're going to love this one here. Dave. He's talking to Charles. Okay, so earlier last year on when we were talking about this sort of stuff, and in my background stuff, I've actually had it. Let me see something here, Brand, see if I have it here to throw up there. So behind us, I can't really see it there. Let me see if I can make it. No, we're not going to be able to do that. That's the picture. What I'm trying to throw up there was a picture from an underground facility. And so what this here says is Springfield Underground Distribution or Storage Center. All of these are where they're storing stuff underground. They're going in there, backing in, unloading food and stuff underground in underground warehouses where stuff is just stored in nice, cool temperatures to make it last longer before it goes out to being shipped out and about and around. And hope everybody see that. So basically, if you want to see these pictures, this is what I'm going to put in the chat here. Comment. This is what I Googled, and it brought up all. And you click on images, and then under images, you click out on the where it says underground. And these are all
some of those underground storage areas, I heard, are just long enough that the trucks go in there, turn their trucks around, and leave the trailer there and go get another one.
No.
That way, all they have to do is interchange trailers when they need to go with the merchandise.
Every one of those distribution centers, on average, is between 3 to 5 miles long just for the driving areas. There are trucks that are stationed at docks, yes, but a majority of the trucks that come in there are unloaded at site. There's very few drop and hook, is what that's called, inside those warehouses. There's not enough room for trucks to be left sitting at docks while other trucks pass by. I've actually been in a government contract underground warehouse where there was just barely enough room for me to put a 53-foot trailer at the dock and block the entire road doing so. So there's not enough room to drop and hook in the majority of those. The trucks that come in, unload, and leave with their trailers.
That guy was shooting the shit in my ear then?
Yes.
Probably. All right. Let's see here. I'm looking at the chat here. Stuff coming up there.
Yeah, I know, Keith. He has changed a lot of the stuff he used to do. I'm persona non grata over there too. So, but we did have many good discussions over there.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's yeah, so you only got like 3 bays here to drop off here. So, yeah, there's not going to be a lot of stuff. But there is a so this is one of the how many you said there were around Springfield?
A lot. We'll just put it that way.
More than 20.
Within 100-mile radius. Yes.
That'd be the thing to do right there, Liberty, is build your own or have your own greenhouse so you can grow year round. Hey, did I talk you into bringing up that one underground one there that's here in Nebraska, showing everybody?
All right, give me a second here. That's well, there's another one. You want to show? There's a company,
Meyer
Distribution Center, and where's this at again? Grand Rapids. And this is another huge one. Meyer. I never heard of Meyer out on the West Coast here. So, but so there's ones that are regional specific companies. The regional specific with huge distribution centers. Okay, so Will, you wanted the one in Nebraska?
Remember that one we were all oogling over this last
summer? You mean the
one that's halfway in the dirt and halfway out?
Yeah, the Wallapini greenhouse. Yeah.
Maybe Liberty would like to look at that.
Yeah. Shoot, do I even have it added to this new computer? No, I don't. On my other computer. So give me a second here, and I'll shift over to the other computer here. I know I have it here, and I can bring it up to the. There we go. Boom. And then I can throw the link in here. Control C. Post it there. There we go. Okay, so there's the one for the Wallapini in Nebraska where he's growing oranges in winter. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, no, I'm not going to be able to pull that up here separate, but I can look at this and I can get the thing here. So I can bring it over here on the other side. Yeah, I got two separate computers. I got on my new computer. I don't have everything moved over onto yet. And this is really, really cool.
You don't have both hooked into the same computer, your monitors?
Oh, no. I got two different computers.
Oh, okay.
Two different computers because the one I'm on now can handle the live stream without, like it was doing a while back. He uses, there we go, bingo. There we go. And now I'll bring it up here. Oh, we got an ad on it. Skip ad. Okay, so this is I put the link in here. This is it. So Nebraska retiring using heat to grow oranges in the snow is the name of the video. And I'm going to skip it forward a little bit here and show you. Back here, greenhouse in the snow, 100% geothermal. And that's the greenhouse next to it there. There we go. And this greenhouse in the snow, yes, orange trees growing inside. So guys, yeah, it can be done. You can, use geothermal to grow in the winter. Oh, there we go, Keith. Garden on your roofs too.
I'd like to plant a garden on this roof before I leave. Oh,
Gee. But yeah, so this guy grows grapes, oranges, bananas. He has a banana tree in there. And yeah, so it's a real informative video. He talks about the new one they're doing. So the new one they're building actually has a pond in it for raising tilapia. So
that's in the United States, Liberty. It's actually right here in the state I live in, Nebraska.
It's in Nebraska. So the title of it is Nebraska Retiree Uses Earth Heat to Grow Oranges in the Snow. And that's what you put on the YouTube search. That's what you're going to get.
He grows year round in there.
Yeah. And so he's showing the pipeline. He runs down and runs that. He tells how far out it runs underground. It's like 8-10 feet down. Runs it out around and back in again. And some of them just runs out and just pulls up. So it's pulling the air in, and the air warms up by the time it gets to it, and blowing warm air into it. And so there's different ways to do it. You can do the fresh air in, or you can just do the circulatory. So
can you grab that? Can you grab that link and put it in the?
I did. It's in the chat there. Let me throw it again in here again.
That would be the ideal situation to have if you want to grow for yourself. You grow year round. I would love to do one of those things.
All right, there it is. I just threw it into the chat again.
If I had the property, I would do it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, my wife was actually thinking about putting in one of these in a couple years here, just probably the summer before she retires and moves up here as well.
Remember we had Howie who was looking at this. He said it would be easy to put one in.
Yeah. Yeah, having been an operating engineer and a general engineering contractor, it's not that hard. It takes a little bit of money, but you don't have to
do a little bit at a time.
You don't have to do a big, huge one like he did. All right, let me go ahead and pull that down and get back to us. So, yeah, so probably
think about Liberty.
Yeah, the supply chain is something. A failure or multiple failures in the supply chain is something we need to think about as preppers, homesteaders, or I'll call himself a survivalist, old school survivalist.
Here's an analogy for you. Think of your supply chain as one of them little teeny pieces of glass panes that sit in the old-fashioned cupboards that if you sneeze on it shatters. That's our supply chain.
Yeah.
All it takes is a little teeny BB to go pink and it shatters and we're done with the current way of surviving.
Yeah. And here. And actually, it doesn't even need to be on the north side. It can be down in any direction at all. But 10 feet down, 8 feet down, 10 feet down, 12 feet down, you're down, low enough that even up here in Idaho, it's not, the frost line's at 4 feet. That's where it freezes. That's the lowest frost line point is down at 4 feet.
Our pan here is like 3 feet down.
Yeah.
So you got 3 feet down here, and then the other part is the canopy.
Yeah, but if you dig your pipeline down, at least twice as deep as the frost line, the air down, the soil down there should still be in the 60s, and so the air you're pulling into the greenhouse is going to be in the 60s. Now the greenhouse is being heated up by the air as well as the sun. So if the air's coming in, heating it up, and the sun's heating it up, your air inside the greenhouse is going to actually be a lot hotter than that. You'll be able to grow a lot of stuff: oranges, lemons, bananas, grapes, whatever in the wintertime. Where's that? Pop that off the wheel. The thing also to consider too is, I'm trying to think of who it is, LDS Prepper. LDS Prepper did a thing showing his, and he's going to be on tomorrow talking about his stuff. But he put he put in his pipe down in 8 feet. And then he was talking, well, I'm not going to put it in 8 feet. The next one, I'm going to put it about 3 feet because the soil inside the greenhouse at this temperature. The problem is, he's going to be robbing Peter to pay Paul. You need to put the pipe down deep enough where you're pulling off of the deep heat and not from the surface heat inside the greenhouse. He just runs his pipe underneath the greenhouse. He doesn't run it out. And to me, that's a little short-sighted loop there.
So it's always recycling.
Yeah, but the problem is it's too short of a loop. So if it starts getting really cold, he's going to start pumping cold air back down in, and it's not going to do anything. You cover the pipes with dirt ground level. Yeah. So you don't dig. Oh, cover if you don't dig. Okay, if you cover pipes with dirt ground level. All right.
If you are in an area that has frost, you will be bringing in literally 32-degree air into that.
Yeah, you'd want to bring in something like.
You have to go below the frost line.
Yeah.
By a minimum of a few feet in order to get the natural warmth of the ground.
Yeah, and cold frames work for some crops. You can grow kale, and I'm having a brain fart here. I think broccoli you can grow in cold frames. Also it all depends on what zone you are and how cold it gets. I mean, if you're up there in Alaska, it's really going to be tough. And I wish Sean from Alaska was here and he could provide us some information.
It just depends on where you live, how it would succeed.
Oh, Courtney, but the problem is, if you go and order those cold frames from Amazon, and there's a problem with their supply chain, you're not going to get them. Sorry, I had to be.
It would never get there, would it?
I had to be a stinker on that one. Sorry, I had to be a stinker. Nice scoop too.
That kind of goes with the shortage thing. If you plan this project and then something bad happens, how are you going to get all the stuff you need to finish your project?
Like I've said in my last 2 little videos, if you ain't got it now, there's a good chance you might not be getting it.
Yeah.
Prepare
One of
now.
Yeah. All right. Liberty says, has a point there. Yeah, I think it's to waste time and energy to grow citrus in cold climates. Beehide oranges in the summer for winter. Yeah, you can do that too. What was it?
Absolutely, Liberty. Yeah, you don't have to be pinned down to grow those things.
Yeah.
They're just showing you in that video that they can be grown. You may want to do other things that you prefer.
Yeah. What I'm trying to think. The one that does dehydrating a lot. Pennsylvania Prepper.
Mm-hmm.
She did cans of pineapples. And that's
freeze drying mainly.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between freeze drying and dehydrating.
Yeah. Yeah, freeze dried, yeah.
Certain fruits, mainly oranges and the like, don't dehydrate to the point where it's as storable as freeze drying does.
Yeah.
Dehydrating fruits turns it into more of a fruit roll-up style, and it will last a little longer if properly taken care of, but it's not as long as freeze drying.
Okay, so Teresa and Lee are working on heating for their greenhouse. They really want a bigger one. And Tim has a question. Would tubular skylights bring in enough sun for a buried greenhouse? Actually, I know from talking about, I'm seeing the pictures on most of the ones for these partially buried greenhouses. They put an angled one and have the back wall here solid on the north side, and then they so that it's a slope. As the sun's down lower in the winter, you get maximum amount of light hitting that slope glass or fiberglass or plastic roof on it, to big enough area so it gets enough sun coming into it. And then the back north wall, they have it insulated, their dirt piled up against it, or they have straw bales piled up against the outside, and they put on the inside, they put a reflective material in so that light comes in, hits that up high, and reflects down onto the plants down below. Back here, drop that. Okay.
Hey, Stringfield.
All right. Let's see here. One of the things that you can do is form a area co-op. If you can't put in a big greenhouse, let's say like you can produce a lot of tomatoes, and someone else is producing a lot of squash, and someone else is producing a lot of lettuces or kale or Swiss chard. Hey, trade, guys. Grow maximum of what you can. Make sure they're growing the max, and guys trade. And then the following year, rotate what you're growing. That way, you don't have the same things growing in the same soil every year, and you guys take turns. So the next year, instead of growing tomatoes, you'll grow the green leafy, and the following year, you'll grow the squash and stuff. And who was it? Did the one on? Oh, look, Sand Hollow Homestead. Yes, just did a video on banana squash. That's I found it very informative. I didn't realize it was that easy, and the way he grew it there up here in Idaho, he got a lot of banana squash. All right, Liberty Garden, take it easy.
See ya.
See you, bud.
And we've mentioned it a few times. There's two other channels that we recommend you go check out. That's The Green Wizard and Food Forest Permaculture. If you're not, and I'm sure most everybody here already has, but this is for those who may catch this at a later date and time.
Yeah.
Food Forest Permaculture is a really good one.
Yeah, that's Howard Jones, or Howie, up there on Vancouver Island in Canada. And Ron Nigel is the Green Wizard, and he's back there in Ohio, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, and Ron actually wrote a book called The Green Wizard's Guide, which is available on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on my 4th copy now, which has also been lent out. So someday I'll have to order me a 5th. And for those who don't know, Howie's going through some medical issues right now. So if you are the praying type, please pray for him.
Yes. Now, one of the things we haven't talked about supply chains, and this is going to be interesting for those that are still in here. You're getting the bonus on this. Stick around for this one. Medical supplies.
Gee, I don't have any back there at all. Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Mine are way back in their other room.
Yeah. So with that one, let me throw it. I'm going to bring it up here on this other one here real quick. Dave's had them on his live streams. I've had him on my live stream back in February last year. That's Doc Bones and Nurse Amy. They are prepper, doctor, and nurse. And let's see here.
And as of lately, they've really been trying to get people to use their brain a little bit more and research into fish biotics.
Yeah.
So really, if you haven't yet, and again, this is mainly for those who are checking this at a later date and time, please go check out their blogs.
Yeah.
They do a lot of great resource information on their blogs and their videos.
All right. So doomandbloom.net. They have, lot of stuff, but they have medical kit. They have a lot of blogs out there. They even on Facebook. And hang on a second. Let me see that I bring them up here real quick. I can show you what they are on Facebook here. I just was looking at their latest one. I'm not sure how fast we'll find it here, folks. They're posting videos and stuff on their on Facebook as well of their a link to their stuff here. All right, this one here.
The nice thing about their stuff, contrary to what you may order from overseas, their stuff is 99.99% locally sourced, which means U.S. It is top grade quality.
Yeah.
You're not going to, and let me put it in perspective. If you order, say, their $700 medical bag, which is a family medical bag, it's got everything you will need. You're not going to get a bunch of this dollar store crap that you get in these other, buy our $20 medical bag. It will get you through the apocalypse. It won't get you through crap. Their bag from Doom and Bloom will get you through the apocalypse. Within reason, of course.
All right, Butch, I'll put Homesteading Idaho's link in just a second. So this is on Facebook. If you want to follow it, it's Doc Bones and Nurse Amy is the name of their on Facebook, and they put like there's another one, the video podcast they do. They got video podcast on new antibiotics. Boom, there's the one you guys want to check out, the latest one out here. So, and that was on the January 24th. That one came out.
And no, people, and I already know somebody in the background, not necessarily here on current stream, but in the back will be saying, "Oh, they must be getting something for a promote." No, I promote people who I believe are honest and sincere, and they are. Otherwise, they would have never been on one of my live streams in the first place, let alone two.
Yeah. And give me 1 second here, and I will throw up Homesteading in Idaho.
Courtney already got it. Relax.
Got it?
Courtney already got it.
Found it. Well, there it is. Cool. All right. Good.
He said he never got it.
Audra at Homesteading Idaho. Really cool. She has some good stuff going on there, and I really like her channel. Guys, you're going to have a challenge to be first one viewing her videos. I've been nailing it, being first for I don't know how long now. But anyways, Doc Bones, Nurse Amy, Doom and Bloom .net. If you want to get good medical kits and stuff, they got a variety of kits.
Information.
Yeah. So, wow. Any other questions here, guys? Any questions about supply chain? Any particular supply chain before we wrap this up here?
No, I'll hit the medical supply chain real quick.
All right.
Since February of last year, there has been a severe shortage of general medical supplies, and we've seen it bounce up and down for the last year. It's going to get worse, folks, because the people in power realize that they can't control what's going on, which is making them nuts. And so they're trying to create more panic by making sure the stuff you need to be healthy, be safe, as in vitamin D, vitamin C, masks, gloves, are in extremely short supply. The warehouses that produce this stuff are full, but there are contracts on said items that prohibit it from being shipped out to customers like you and me. It's not some conspiracy theory, it's fact. All you have to know is where to look. I'm not going to tell you where to look, because if I tell you, then you're going to believe what I'm telling you. You want to find this information out, go do your own research, do your own due diligence, and find the info yourself. Then cross-check it against a few other places to make sure what you're reading is correct. Don't take my word, or don't take Gil's word for it. Don't take Will's word for it. Go do your own research, okay? Because the more research you do makes you smarter. Mm-hmm. Knowledge is power.
All right. One of the things talking about from looking up here, I just forgot to do it. So I'm going to speed up here in a second here. Come on, let's go. There it's going. And it's coming up on my other screen here, so share in a second here. What was mentioned in the side chat here about masks? There are a lot of stuff out there saying, "Oh, masks don't work. Masks don't work."
If you use
Wrong.
it well.
Face coverings don't work. Masks do. There's a big difference.
Okay.
The little things you wear, the cotton ones that made out of t-shirt material, all that's going to do is if you sneeze a wad of snot out, it's not going to go flying out. Now the N95 masks stop stuff down to 1 micron. 95% of item particles down to 1 micron. The regular masks you buy out of, you make out of jean material or t-shirt material, maybe 1%.
Okay, here's the best picture. Y'all remember the commercial where the guy was wearing a face mask doing drywall work? Okay, A, he didn't wear it correctly. B, when it comes to drywall, I don't care, unless you're wearing a full respirator with rubber seals, it's going to get everywhere. They use the worst possible thing to show you.
No kidding.
But
yeah,
it all comes down to, are you properly wearing said masks? And if you want instruction on how to do that, go please see, again, Doc Bones and Nurse Amy. They actually have videos on the proper way to don and doff, which is take off. 2 videos on it, back to back. In my live streams, we actually went over that. I do believe it was the second live stream that we did. I can't remember, it was last year. The proper way to wear it is going to make an extreme difference on whether or not it's going to help you. If you're not wearing it right, it's just like a nuclear, biological, chemical suit. If you don't wear it right, it ain't going to do you darn bit of good.
Yeah. So, all right, formerly known as Kraken. I'm not sure if you're saying you're out on this, or I'm not sure, but anyways, what I want to say before I get into the other part here, I can find it here. It's not coming up there. Trying to figure out where I put it at. Anyways, I got a bunch of wish lists on Amazon. I'm trying to figure out where I put. Did I put it under this one? The books and everything. Anyways, one of the things that you can look at, you just go back and read the titles of some of the mine and Dave's and Will's past videos and stuff. We covered some of the stuff last year, but we're coming up here. We're getting close to the end here, so I'm just going to tell everybody real quick, and we'll continue on, just make sure everyone catches it. Tuesday night, Tactical Tuesday, we'll be covering knives, the right knife for the right job. And Dave's going to be pulling out his knife. Next Friday night, we're going to talk about have a side hustle, more money for your prep. And then the following Tactical Tuesday is going to be store what you eat what you store.
Yeah, I actually had somebody comment on my 4 Patriots food video that he bought a 4-week supply of survival food and ate it all at once. And he complained about having constipation and diarrhea. Okay. First of all,
stop and go, huh?
Yeah. First of all, survival food is not meant to be eaten all at once, back to back to back to back to back. Okay. It's not what it's for. It's a supplement to your current preps.
Yeah.
If you think that survival food is going to help you survive, you've already failed. I have a supply of it, but it is to supplement what I currently have. And I can mix regular food in with the survival food, which is freeze-dried, to make sure I survive. That way it extends what I currently have.
Okay, I got the other thing up here now. All right, so talking Doc Bones and Nurse Amy. I got their books on infectious diseases, which Alton's Antibiotics and Infectious Diseases. This book talks about the antibiotics, the fish box and stuff, tells you which ones you can use and which ones you cannot use. They're not all made the same. The medical, the survival medicine handbook. Dave has the hard copy. I got the soft copy. The smaller version here, the older version. I also happen to have a Alton pandemic preparedness guide as well. So yeah, hey, I paid. I got this one for free, but hey, the buying these others I felt was worth it, and it definitely is worth it for information. What do we got going on here now? All right, CR, take care. Yeah, and the thing is, like the survival food, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in a couple weeks, about store what you eat, what you store. Your survival food should be what you normally eat, but you dehydrated or whatever. But the prepackaged stuff is
mainly
go ahead.
Discussed there.
See you, CR.
Like Four Patriots, Wise, Mountain House, stuff like that. These are the freeze-dried, and yes, you want the freeze-dried stuff, not the dehydrated crap. You want the company that does freeze-drying. That is a supplement. It's just like MREs. Anybody who's been in the military will tell you MREs will help you live a little while. Eat the gum. Eat the gum. Chew it. There's a reason for it. It's in there. And it's not just because it's pretty. But you are not going to live off just MREs. You will have the same digestive issues as if you eat nothing but freeze-dried food. You need it to supplement what you currently have. Do not rely solely on it. If you do, you will dehydrate yourself because you'll be pooping water out your rear end. Sorry, Courtney. You'll be pooping water out your rear end for the next month of Sundays, and you will dehydrate. And then you will go. And I don't care if you weigh 20 pounds, 200,000 pounds. You will dehydrate eating just freeze-dried food or MREs.
The pup decided to say hello.
All right. I just posted another link in there. I just had a pop-up from homesteading in Idaho that Audra just put out a video about compost from goats for hardy. Yeah, about using the byproduct of goats for your garden. So, all righty. So, anybody else? Any other things people ask to talk about there?
And before anybody asks, when I did my review of Four Patriots, that was an unsponsored review. I did work out a small sponsorship with them, which they reneged on. So my view is it is still a good supplement, but I can no longer recommend the company itself.
Yeah.
And they're still making money off of my video. If I pull it down, I lose like 60 some odd watch hours worth of. So I'm not going to pull it down. They're going to go ahead and get their cut out of it. I get nothing for it.
Yeah. All righty. Just got a brain fart here, guys. Brain's overloaded. I'm just looking at the comical comments here in the side chat. Yeah.
There's some good ones going.
I just peed myself. Spray the rocks. Oh my! Oh, too much fun here. Yeah. Anyway, like
I said, I'm comic relief.
No, it's not you. It's them on the side chat. It's Courtney.
That all off of what I said.
Fart.
Yes, Fishes, you're right. We all went to 8th grade humor. Oh, and guys, that's one thing I want to make sure everybody don't lose your sense of humor. No matter how bad things get. Find something to laugh at.
What do you want? Come on.
Okay. All righty. So, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up here now. I can't think of nothing else more to add to it. Except, once again, if you got a garden, try to expand it, even if it's vertically. If you don't have a garden and you can grow one, start one.
That'd be my suggestion. Grow your own.
Well, I just like to have a brain fart. The sprouts. One of those little sprout gardens things for growing sprouts and stuff, on your table where they have the little grow light on it and stuff.
Are you trying to say Lee is a laugh-a-minute?
Ooh, what? Oh, oh yeah. Lee can be funny. Lee can be funny.
Just don't mention the bridge.
Oh, they got the bridge fixed.
Yeah, but it's still a sore spot.
Yeah. All right, folks. We're going to wrap it up here, everyone. As always.
Just tell everybody come see me Monday morning.
Monday morning, what time, Will?
11:30.
11:30 Mountain Time, right?
Right behind Corsair Trainer, yep.
Yeah. And so Corsair Trainer, that's Steve at Corsair Trainer, comes on before that, and a couple hours before that.
Yeah, I guess. About 10 he comes on, and then I come on at 11:30.
Right. Okay, so that's what's coming up on Monday.
We're going to be talking Frankenfoods this week.
Frankenfoods?
Yep.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. All right. Oh, thank you, Courtney, for putting that out there. Anybody here who is not subscribed to Somehow Prepping, please go over and hit him up. Also hit Will at JIT Preparedness-info.
It's a hard one to say after saying the other one for so long.
Yeah. I'm just so used to rattling out just-in-time preparedness. So, yeah. So everyone, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you the next time around.